I think there's a confluence of the sector agencies that determine the price hike. We are exposed to global energy prices, and when oil price rise, electricity prices will of course rise in tandem. But I think collectively, EMA looks at the wheeling charges, looks at multiple components, including the grid charges and so on, before deciding, and also looks at various different components, fuel price directly attributable to fuel costs, the procurement of fuel costs, and the non-fuel costs, and then collectively come up with a calibrated price increase. So it's not, it is working in conjunction, but ultimately EMA determines the price rise. I hope that answers your question.
Leong Man Wai.
Speaker, PSP is of the view that inflation is here to stay. It will be a multi-year uptrend. The earlier and the more contingency plans we have, the better. So far, all our discussion in this chamber has concentrated on cost. I have two questions to ask the Minister of Manpower about income and wages. I would like to ask the Manpower Minister, one, are there plans in place to ensure that the Singaporean incomes and wages will rise with inflation going forward? Because we expect inflation to be a multi-year phenomenon. Two, because Singaporeans are in constant competition with foreigners, how to ensure that Singaporean workers will continue to be competitive vis-à-vis foreign power in a rising wage environment? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I think this is an MTI statement, but I think the member wishes to clarify that perhaps I may have the opportunity to just elaborate a bit on this. Thank you. Now, we have been very focused on uplifting the lower wage workers. In fact, I think the whole crux of this year's COS and pretty much the last 2 quarters of last year, SMS Zaki has gone out to talk about the progressive wage model, how we have set up schemes. We have also illustrated the fact that the bottom 20% in terms of the wage growth over the years have actually exceeded the median wage rise for the rest of the salaries. In our constant and consistent efforts to ensure that we continue to uplift our low-wage workers. On top of that, to support businesses to alleviate the cost of this progressive wage model, the government has also put aside a significant sum of money to transition, to help companies transition by the progressive wage credit scheme. That is one big portion of what uplifting is all about. If the member had sat through the MOM COS, our 3 focus this year was on uplifting, upgrading, and upholding. Now, so while we uplift them, we also have to upgrade them. So there's significant programs in terms of upskilling them, reskilling, helping them to pivot. We have together on a multi-sectoral, multi-ministerial level, we have gotten the industry transformation maps. And to match the industry transformation maps with the JTMs, the job transformation map, which provides a very good guide and compass as to where companies are in terms of the development forward. And we help them. We have all these productivity solutions grant. We have multiple different schemes to help companies to pivot while we train and we upgrade our Singaporean core. So that's the upgrading part. Upholding fairness. We ensure that now with the tripartite committee on workplace fairness, we're now looking on how we're going to move this into legislation. On top of that, for the foreign workforce complementarity, we have also rolled out Compass. which is a complementarity assessment framework to allow us to bring in foreign talent in a very nuanced way so that they are able to contribute to our strategic economic priorities. They can address the training of our locals in uplifting and making sure that we are world-class in terms of our workforce. So those are a whole multitude of measures that we put in place. And obviously, we are also working in terms of making sure that we strengthen the retirement savings in our CPF account. We continue to press ahead to nudge our people to upgrade themselves, and through all of our SG United program, as I've shared earlier on, for the mid-career, for the slightly older workers, we will make the SG United program a permanent fixture of our policy itself. I mean, the entire list of measures that we've done to help our local Singaporeans continue to move ahead, to make sure that their real wages exceed inflationary rates. I think those are the measures that we have. I'm not sure what other suggestions or other better solutions that the PSP has today. Thank you.
Mr. Leong.
Thank you, Speaker. Just to confirm what the Minister has said, so the progressive wage credit has taken into consideration the future rise in inflation to ensure that Singaporeans' incomes and wages rise with inflation. So this to confirm that is correct. Secondly, with regards to the Compass scheme, I hope tomorrow I will have another opportunity to debate the Minister on the scheme. Thank you.
Would the Minister like to respond?
Mr. Speaker, sir, may I remind the member that we're talking about the cost of living, inflation, energy, fuel prices, and goods. If he would like to file a separate PQ on the manpower issues, I'm happy. I'm always waiting for him to do so. Thank you.
Dr. Lim Wee Kiak.